Yep, I'm really eating my words right now. How is it going, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla 1964 coming back to you with yet another figure review. This time it's going to be the figure review of the Bandai Movie Monster Series / Parco concept art Godzilla 1954, also known as the Maquette version of Godzilla 1954, since that's pretty much what this guy is. I'm going to also coin it as the figure that I said I would never end up getting because of, one, how ridiculous the aftermarket prices were, and two, how crazy insane it was for us in the States to be able to get this figure. So long story short, what happened was, after I filmed that video, about a week later, Parco announced that they're going to be releasing this guy a second time. This time with the blue version of 1991 Godzilla with the green spikes. So this guy got a second release, and with that second release, the aftermarket prices dropped like a lot, to the point where I was comfortable with buying him, which was around $100, which is how much I picked this guy up for, around there, give or take. So yeah, I picked this guy up on eBay, and I was very happy to have got him in the mail. I've had this guy for about 2 weeks now at this point, so there's a lot to talk about. At the same time, there's not a lot to talk about. Let me show you what I mean. Starting off with the detail here, as you can see, 1954 Godzilla. This is a whole different 1954 Godzilla because it is the concept art version of him. And it's, for me, I lunged at this guy as soon as the prices dropped, because having concept art versions of the Godzillas or Godzilla Kaiju is just kind of one of my, something that I kind of dreamed about every now and then, especially when you see concept art versions of Angus from 1955, Space Godzilla, Biollante. I mean, having Bagan too, and he was essentially concept art, a concept monster for Godzilla. I mean, it's been a great 2 years. What am I going to say to be a Godzilla fan? Or it's been a great year. We're going in our second year. It's just crazy. But that's the Aloha spiel. Now, not a lot. The idea behind that is that when we look at the figure here, the detailing, it looks like if Godzilla got mixed with Raptor from The Simpsons and a dragon, or no, scratch that, just Raptor, because you got this very, very nice scales detail. I want to say scaling, but scales detail for Godzilla, going all through his body. It stops at the tail, but from the tip of his head, from the top of his head, all the way down his face, there's little scales details over here, down the body, down the arms. I mean, it's just so very nicely done. It is crazy. It's kind of detracts how it just kind of abruptly stops here at the tail, but it's not really a big thing for me because it's still really, really nice. And not to mention the tail detail over here is very nice as well, with all the grooves and the ridges and the segmentation for the tail. I mean, just well done, very well done. Now the face, the detail work for the face, it's really interesting how Bandai did this because it turned out really, really good. You got the pug nose, the very beady, dead white eyes that's kind of sunken into the socket, or the socket's a little sunken in. Then you got his two very pronounced ears here, kind of reminiscent of, nope, not gonna go there. I wanted to say it's reminiscent of GMK, but it's actually not. But it's interesting how they did the mouth here, because the lower jaw is a separate piece, and if you look closely, the teeth are all individually done and individually sculpted on the bottom jaw, whereas the top jaw is not so much, even though I love what they did with it, because they're able to get, and I'll get into paint later, but they're able to get everything with this mouth. So just, I really like what Bandai did for the head here. Very, very nicely done. And then, per the concept art, how Godzilla is supposed to essentially resemble a mushroom cloud, here's a look at his head from the front on. Looks a little derpy, but you get the point. It resembles a mushroom cloud. So, yeah. The arms are all very nicely done as well. Very nicely detailed hands. You got little scales on his hands here as well. the inside of the hands. And the cool thing about the hands is that they're both positioned differently, the fingers. Different finger positions. So, yeah. That's really, really awesome. Then here's Godzilla's body. It's just kind of... It's got a lot of nice scaling detail. It's just kind of flat though. Like there's no pronounced chest or belly. It's just... Yeah. I'm okay with it. Not a big fan of it, but I'm cool with it because it's, you know, cool. It's concept art. The star here is kind of the legs. So you got this very nice defined muscle detail, the kneecap, and then the shins even have muscles, and the feet are, I mean, the detail work is just really, really good. And it honestly, I suppose you can say the Anguirus 1955 figure was like a precursor because it has a lot of the scaling detail going on too. But yeah, both feet are going to be the same though, versus the hands, which again, very, very good detail work, Bandai. Here's a shot of the fins here. The fins are all very nicely detailed. I feel like for the fins, they went above and beyond because the detail work on these fins is, especially the big ones at least, is like, there's a lot more character to them compared to the 1954 figure that we got. I forget it was last year or the year before last year, but I mean, dorsal plates, all very nicely done. All the way to the tip of the tail. You know what's not to the tip of the tail though? The paint. Which, since we're on here, that's pretty much it for detail, honestly. Let's get on the paint here. What we have is really amazing. What pisses me off is the fact that it's such a limited release figure that they couldn't kind of go more than what we're getting, because it really wouldn't have been much more besides this from the top of the head spines to the tip of the tail spines. From the top of the head spines to the tip of the tail spines, I mean, a little more paint here, and then the toenails and the fingernails don't have any paint, even though I get what they're going for. They did this with the 1954 figure that came out either this past year or the year before. I get it. However, with this being a limited release figure and a special limited release figure that's not even available on the Godzilla store or on any other outside retailers, I mean, it's ridiculous that Bandai couldn't have gone above and beyond for this guy. And it kind of pisses me off just a bit, but it is what it is, even though it's really dumb. Because, I mean, just, yeah, really, we went from this. I mean, look at all this paint work here. The eyes are actually accurate to what they were in the movie versus the other figure we got. Yes, this is an older 1954 figure. This is actually one of my first Godzilla figures that I got, which is why he's kind of banged up, but he's still in good condition. Figure wise, paint wise, he's seen a lot better days. But I mean, we went from this paint all the way to the tip of the tail, painted accurately, fingernails, toenails painted, knees, highlights, chest, everything, teeth, accurate eyes. I think I said that twice. To this, paint as much as needed, didn't even bother to go to the tip of the tail, no paint on the fingernails. The eyes are actually painted pretty accurately, I'll give them that. And then the mouth, I'll give them this, that they one-upped on the mouth, where the gums are actually painted and the teeth are painted very, very nicely. So I'll give them that. However, oh, yeah, that's actually about it. However, still ridiculous how they had to go a little bit more to create a perfect figure of this guy. And I mean, perfect. Down to the last detail, kind of perfect. But the paint that we do get is really, really good. Especially with how nicely done the paint for the teeth are and the gums. I love how the gums are painted on this figure. The eyes are painted very nicely. It looks like there's this little bit of shading area shading for the eyes here, a little bit of it, but it's not quite. The detail, the dorsal plates are painted very nicely over here. All 3 rows are going to be painted back and front. Moving on to articulation, we get a total of 4 points of articulation for this guy. Both of his arms move, and then both of the legs move. So you can get some pretty cool action shots here. Sadly, no movement at the head or the tail. There is a glue seal at the head and the tail. I do not recommend breaking either of them. I'm just going to leave it at that. I do not recommend breaking either of them. Here he is for size comparison. Since he didn't really go up against any other kaiju in the movie, we have his counterpart that actually made it into the film, the official 1954 Godzilla, let me say. He's a little shorter than him, which I think works because the maquette looked a whole lot shorter than the official Godzilla figure, or the official Godzilla, sorry, not official Godzilla figure, just a lot more bulkier. And yeah, but now that I have them both, do you see the difference with the chest here? When I say that there is absolutely nothing going on with this guy's chest besides the scales, I mean, it's just kind of crazy how far they went for Godzilla. Even though they look like the same creature, it's just from what we could have gotten to what we got. I think I appreciate a lot more. It makes me appreciate a lot more of what we actually got for our first ever Godzilla. So yeah, that's not to discount this guy, because still a really good version of him. However, this just, yeah, sentimentality wise, I like this guy a lot more. Anyways, that'll do it for today's review though, guys. If you guys like this video, do be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. If you guys think I may have missed anything, or if you guys think that it really wasn't worth getting this figure, or if you think this guy's actually a whole lot better looking than this guy, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a comment. And if you guys like what you see on that channel, please do be sure to hit the subscribe button. So this has been Shanzilla 1964 saying until next time, guys. Peace.